Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 4, Book 51, Number 29. Narrated by Anas. When Allah's apostle came to Medina, he did not have any servant. Abu Talha, Anas' stepfather, took me to Allah's apostle and said, "O Allah's apostle, Anas is a wise boy, so let him serve you." So I served him at home and on journeys. If I did anything, he never asked me why I did it, and if I refrained from doing anything, he never asked me why I refrained from doing it. Volume 4, Book 51, Number 30. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. Abu Talha had the greatest wealth of date palms amongst the Ansar in Medina, and he prized above all his wealth, his garden, Bayruha, which was situated opposite the mosque of the Prophet. The Prophet used to enter it and drink from its fresh water. When the following divine verse came, "By no means shall you attain piety until you spend of what you love," 3.92, Abu Talha got up saying, "O Allah's apostle, Allah says, you will not attain piety until you spend of what you love, and I prize above Allah my wealth, Bayruha, which I want to give in charity for Allah's sake, hoping for its reward from Allah. So you can use it as Allah directs you." On that the Prophet said, "Bravo! It is a profitable, or perishable, property." Ibn Maslama is not sure as to which word is right, i.e. profitable or perishable. "I have heard what you have said, and I recommend that you distribute this amongst your relatives." On that Abu Talha said, "O Allah's apostle, I will do as you have suggested." So Abu Talha distributed that garden amongst his relatives and cousins. Volume 4, Book 51, Number 31. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. A man said to Allah's apostle, "My mother died. Will it benefit her if I give in charity on her behalf?" The Prophet replied in the affirmative. The man said, "I have a garden and I make you a witness that I give it in charity on her behalf." Volume 4, Book 51, Number 32. Narrated by Anas. When the Prophet ordered that the mosque be built, he said, "O Bani and Najjar, suggest to me a price for this garden of yours." They replied, "By Allah, we will demand its price from none but Allah." Volume 4, Book 51, Number 33. Narrated by Ibn Umar. When Umar got a piece of land in Khaybar, he came to the Prophet saying, "I have got a piece of land, better than which I have never got. So what do you advise me regarding it?" The Prophet said, "If you wish you can keep it as an endowment to be used for charitable purposes." So Umar gave the land in charity, i.e. as an endowment on the condition that the land would neither be sold nor given as a present, nor bequeathed, and its yield would be used for the poor, the kinsmen, the emancipation of slaves, jihad, and for guests and travelers, and its administrator could eat in a reasonable just manner, and he also could feed his friends without intending to be wealthy by its means. Volume 4, Book 51, Number 34. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Umar got some property in Khaybar and he came to the Prophet and informed him about it. The Prophet said to him, "If you wish you can give it in charity." So Umar gave it in charity, i.e. as an endowment, the yield of which was to be used for the good of the poor, the needy, the kinsmen and the guests. Volume 4, Book 51, Number 35. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. When Allah's apostle came to Medina, he ordered that a mosque be built. He said, "O Bani and Najjar, suggest me a price for the garden of yours." They replied, "By Allah, we will not ask its price except from Allah." Volume 4, Book 51, Number 36. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Once, Umar gave a horse in charity to be used in holy fighting. It had been given to him by Allah's apostle. Umar gave it to another man to ride. Then, Umar was informed that the man put the horse for sale, so he asked Allah's apostle whether he could buy it. Allah's apostle replied, "You should not buy it, for you should not take back what you have given in charity." Volume 4, Book 51, number 37. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's apostle said, "My heirs will not inherit a dinar or a dirham, i.e. money, for whatever I leave, excluding the adequate support of my wives and the wages of my employees, is given in charity." Volume 4, Book 51, number 38. Narrated by Ibn Umar. When Umar founded an endowment, he stipulated that its administrator could eat from it and also feed his friend on the condition that he would not store anything for himself from it. Volume 4, Book 51, number 39. Narrated by Anas. The Prophet said, "At the time of building the mosque, O Ban and Najjar, suggest to me a price for your garden." They replied, "We do not ask its price except from Allah." Volume 4, Book 51, number 40. Narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari. My father was martyred on the day of the Ghazwa of Uhud and left 6 daughters and some debts to be paid. When the time of plucking the date fruits came, I went to Allah's apostle and said, "O Allah's apostle, you know that my father was martyred on Uhud's day and owed much debt, and I wish that the creditors would see you." The Prophet said, "Go and collect the various kinds of dates and place them separately in heaps." I did accordingly and called him. On seeing him, the creditors started claiming their rights pressingly at that time. When the Prophet saw how they behaved, he went round the biggest heap for 3 times and sat over it and said, "Call your companions, i.e. the creditors." Then he kept on measuring and giving them, till Allah cleared all my father's debts. By Allah, it would have pleased me that Allah would clear the debts of my father even though I had not taken a single date to my sisters. But by Allah, all the heaps were complete, as they were, and I looked at the heap where Allah's apostle was sitting and noticed as if not a single date had been taken thereof.